I don't know if there's a raccoon in there, but past experience is indicative to future results. There is. Well, that's all the dirt that was on the undercarriage. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he goes. He really does have a thing for conveyors.
Hi, I'm Tony Fast's daughter.
I'm Tony Fast's daughter.
I'm Tony Fast's daughter. Our family has been blessed to farm in Montana
For over 100 years now.
And it wouldn't be possible without the great team we have
and blessings from our Savior,
Jesus Christ.
Stirring that pot. We are back. Working, cleaning, just washed off the inside of the tractor. It's finally dry enough around here that you can drive stuff around. And actually went from soggy to powder dust. Blew out the cart tanks this morning. Still need to wash the conveyor out. That's next on my list. Got the inside of the tracks washed out. Just used the garden hose for those. Got the chunks out, the mud. Plus the caps, the oil caps. They were so dirty you couldn't see them, but they're all over half full, so that's good. So no leaks, no lost seals this year on that. Need to spray foam the tractor yet too. So while it's sitting here, I'll do that, then pull it up so that I can work on the conveyor over here on the rocks and not get it all slop in the mud. Get this thing finished up and ready to put away until winter wheat seeding in what, October, September? So anyway, that's what's going on today. Just the little things, gotta get them done.
Morning. Well, we're back from Nebraska and it's finally not windy. Oh yeah, and we got 1.25 inch rain last week. So the spring crops are gonna really soak that up. We really needed that to get everything going and off to the races, but the winter wheat, it was too late for that, but that's all right. We'll deal with that, that's not a big deal. Usually winter wheat's kind of a sure bet if it makes it through winter that's gonna catch an early shower, but this stuff didn't. We're gonna go take a look at some crops today, see what is needing to be sprayed with what chemical and all that. Should show you guys this. This is the mustard. And you can see some of the plants came up a week or so ago. And we've got just some little itty bitty ones where you can see down the rows there. Little thin rows there, that's the new ones coming up. So usually crops have no trouble coming up around here, but we did, like, this is literally the first shower to get crops growing, and it's, I don't know, May 25th-ish, somewhere around there, and this would have been seeded like the day after Easter, whatever that was, April 20th. Yeah, somewhere around there. So there you go. Let's go look at some fields. Well, this is the first field of mustard we seeded, and these are tansy mustards, these tall ones that are out here. They shouldn't be out here, but it was cold, couldn't get pre-spray. There really was nothing coming. Obviously, those came right after it was seeded or was actually there when we were seeding and just couldn't find them. But Dad sprayed this with 4 ounces of dicamba a week ago, and you can see like the buckwheats are curled up. The tops of the tansy mustards are burned off, but they're still green, so they're still going to be there, but hopefully they don't like go to seed and whatever. This stuff is, we'll probably get this sprayed this week yet with Stinger and Lethodum for the grasses. Not seeing a whole lot of grasses, but Lethodum's pretty cheap to spray. Take care of any of those weeds that will hinder the mustard. So this field of mustard, we're on the edge where the wind really blew and soaked the stuff in, so you can't really see much here, but looks good further out in the field. This field was seeded like 2 days after this field, 3 days maybe. We got back with the sprayer and sprayed this before it came up. This was seeded with the spider after we get past the outside round. This stuff was coming up, so we couldn't spray it with Roundup, and that is why we use Roundup. It kills everything for us yet. Grasses, broadleaves when they're little, and you can tell like the rest of the fields that was done on all look super clean. So that's all we need Roundup, because it does a bang up job on pre-plant for us.
All right, we are going to finish washing that cart. I don't know if there's a raccoon in there, but past experience is indicative to future results. There is. So far 3 for 3 on the conveyors that the raccoon's been in there. And I don't know about the 4th, but I'm gonna guess he is. So, get the bird's nest out first, because they never pressure wash out very well. And then we'll get to washing this. gonna blow out the tanks because they don't need to be washed out. Tony said just blow them out real good and finish this up and get it ready to grease and put it away. That's the plan for today. Oh, and if you guys as farmers that like to wash equipment don't have a scissor lift, you're behind the times. So handy. Clearly my day's off to a rockin' good start. Second pull, pop the handle right off. Awesome. It's always something. Baby steps, man. You gotta do it in baby steps. You don't wanna miss a step. We got it wound tight now. I'm just missing 16 inches of rope. Cool. See if the camera will balance in the dirt while you watch me put on 3 little bolts. Give it a try. Oh, so close. You're not believe that. Boy, that is a really short starter cord now. Well, the exterior of the cart is done. Conveyor's done. That was easy. That went pretty quick because Warren fire hosed off the air seeder and most of the cart earlier. So I was just getting the stuff that was really stuck on and under the lids and tiny cracks and stuff like that. So that was easy. So it's done. I'm gonna start tractor again, pick the conveyor up, and then I'm gonna move it just out there so I'm not in the mud. Maybe just move it forward enough so I can crawl under, open the bottoms, and then take an air hose and blow out the tanks on the inside. That way we don't have to get them wet this year. We didn't really have much moisture during seeding, obviously, so the tanks are pretty good shape inside. So just quick blow them out. Voila. Oh. His is much faster than mine. That's nice. I don't want mine to go that fast. Now, can I do a camera and remote at the same time? There we go. There we go. Cochon. Okay, don't need that on or that on anymore. Those are my fans. Kick those in the float, which is probably alright. My shoes are dirty and I'm making tracks on his magic carpet. Alright, and then you swipe up, hit the power button, power down. Yes, I forgot to do that when I ran the conveyor earlier and then shut the tractor off without shutting the monitor off. That was me. I don't think it really hurts a ton, but it's turn the monitor off before you turn the tractor off. Never know.
All right, here's some of the yellow peas. This would have been the second field I seeded with the 100-foot per go. It was really nice. A few weeds here, a few more weeds than normal just because it was dried, so like chemical that was sprayed on after it was rolled. didn't get activated. They may still die yet since the rain took the chemical back. There's one that's completely dead. Let's look at that. Ready to go. Right here. So this is a wild buckwheat. This is one that was growing, and then as that chemical went down into the soil, it killed it by the roots. There's a few other ones I've seen that are bigger and look healthy, but maybe they're still gonna die. I hope so. That buckwheat's a viney weed, and so that causes lots of trouble. It can wrap up on our cross augers, on our header when we cut these and stuff like that. So we really want that gone. And the use of, we've been using Valor or Panther the last few years. It's been doing a really good job. All in all, these look pretty nice. I'm happy with the stand. Keeps raining. Makes pretty good peas. Well, look at this. Now that's a pretty cool old wrench. I wonder how many years that's been laying out here. This is a winter wheat field, kind of in a bare spot on a hilltop here that winter killed. But the plants that are out here, let's grab my Yeti cup just for comparison. So there you go. This stuff is, the heads must be right about here. I can feel them in the stalk. They're coming up yet. Be heading after a while. This is not going to be, obviously be a pretty field. Now winter wheat on a normal stand, like this is really bare obviously, but a thin stand, if you have lots of moisture, that winter wheat will just keep on getting thicker and thicker and thicker and setting up more shoots from the roots. And you'll have a nice thick stand of winter wheat, but just the lack of moisture this spring, it's completely different than normal. And I'm by no means complaining. Like this is part of farming. I'm just showing you guys what the correct conditions are around here. Spring crops, like I said, look good. Those peas we just looked at, they look great. Winter wheat, ooh, not so much. There's like, we're not even gonna spray, or we haven't sprayed and won't be spraying this because there's literally no weeds growing out here. The only spots we're spraying is where there was kochia plants last year and the seed fell off when we seeded it and buried it, and that's come up, but there's no weeds anywhere else because there hasn't been rain on top of the soil to get any more weeds germinated. Saving some money there. I don't know if we'll even get our seed back on this winter wheat or if we'll even have to combine it. It might not even fill heads. Who knows what the weather's going to be like by then. So the next month is going to be pretty crazy to see what happens to these crops. Boy, that must have been a pretty good wind to get branches this far out in the field. Holy moly.
Okay, so I think it's, yep, that one. So that's the short conveyor. If he was in there, he's now in the tube. And we'll go ahead and kick the PTO on and see if he comes out. That's all the dirt that was on the undercarriage. Oh, there he is! There he is! There he goes. He really does have a thing for conveyors! Oh my goodness! Ah. Let's watch him, see where he goes. And stay out! Oh, is there a car coming? Darn. Go away! Fast egg, wash, and lube combination. Follow us on all your social medias. Just a quick fix while I was up here. This hard to see now. I don't know, probably caught on a bin lid, something, and I just pulled it down crooked, so I just put it back. Hopefully it stays. I don't know. Now I gotta get this second one lined up. That's fun because it's kind of stiff plastic, you know. There we go. Perfect. Well, hopefully that'll last a little longer. I don't want to go too tight because they're nuts back there. I don't want to strip them out at all. See how that does. There. Now it's fast ag, wash and lube and repair. While I was here, and I had the conveyor running, I greased those because I think it's always better to grease the bearing while it's moving, and then it kind of equally greases the bearing instead of just maybe in one spot. Fire it back up now. See our awesome fix here held together by wire. hey, whatever works. Anyway, I'll go get the tractor started back up. I think there's 1 or 2 down there that I cannot grease while it's running because you can't get to them. But then I'll start it and try and grease the rest of them while it's moving. And then all the peas are in this general area over west, and so this can be done and ready for harvest. When harvest comes, one less thing to worry about preparing. All we have to do is set it up on a bin and start going. All right, that is done. Checked off the list completely. Should be ready to go. Maybe should have checked the belt tension while I had it, because I think you're supposed to check the belt tension while it's running. Other than that, this thing is ready for fall harvest. I believe fall harvest. One of these days I have to grease that thing again. That's fun. I think it was 800 grease zerks, and it takes forever. But our plan is we will empty out the shed here, open that door, and drive in, parking the drill on the concrete, unfolding it, be able to grease it on the concrete instead of in the dirt or on the rocks, all that fun stuff. That's a project for another day. It's not gonna happen today. Now I gotta go find something else to do. What do I want to do next? Maybe pick up my pressure washer that I had out earlier from washing that conveyor. We'll do that.
Well, this winter wheat looks a lot better up north here. I think it's been a little cooler early. It didn't run out of the moisture, didn't stress as hard, come out of dormancy like the stuff down south. I think it even had more rain since then, so it looks pretty good. Get up here and get this sprayed. We got more rain in the forecast. It might make an all right winter wheat crop yet. Well, here is the last seeded field of spring wheat. Looking really nice. I'm actually surprised that it is consistent as it is. I figured it would have taken a rain to get it all up, but it looks pretty nice. Look at how tough that wheat is. You can push up that crust. And like, they don't crust much, but when this ground gets wet, it does get a little bit that way. Get a little shower or rain or whatever. That should take care of itself. That's crazy. Looks pretty good. Morning. All right, we're all filled up and we've got our chemical blend or tank mix all built in here. Compadre for some anti-drift to make sure it gets down into the weeds, onto the weeds. Rifle D addition tank mix are all set, I think, on the monitor. Clear these. Yeah. Turn on the auto boom. The center turns on the wings. We got pressure, got our rate set. That thing's all turned on. We're ready to spray. Forgot to refill my container, even though it's already refilled. All right, got going here on the outside round. Kind of easy. This was seated with the 60-foot disc drill, 120-foot sprayer boom. Can't really see the seam right now because the GPS must have been overlapping just perfect over seams, but every once in a while you can see a little bit of a paired row. So that's my line. So I get my edge sprayed right all the way out to the edge. And there's some really nice looking winter wheat, and then there's these bare spots. And this is just where we were missing some snow cover because there wasn't enough residue there to really drift the snow in. Just a little bit too light on the snowfall this year. I think it'll end up making an alright winter wheat crop. Well, just finished up the second load. Let's see, we got 400 acres done on that field, and I've already sprayed this one too. Let's see here, what do we have remaining? 672.9 acres remaining. So we've got a couple more loads after this one. We're doing 260 acres in load. So 266, I think, 270, right at 270. Dad's already got the chemical all loaded into the cones. He's just gonna hook up the hose, fill us up. Canola stalk. Pointy enough to stick into a tire. That's crazy. 1,250 acres done by 3 in the afternoon, and we didn't really start that early, so done with the winter wheat. I think we may do spring wheat next. Got, I don't know, 1,000 acres of that, and then the pulses, the peas, the chickpeas, maybe, then the mustard. I don't know. We'll take a look at it, figure it out later.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget, farm hard, pray harder. See you next video.